Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Athletic School podcast. Today's guest is someone who turned challenge into opportunities and now help athletes across Brazil do the same. Gabriel Uemura began his journey in college soccer in the US back in 2019, coming from grassroots football or soccer in Brazil with limited resources and no formal background in sport. Against all odds, he found his way, learned through experience, and built a life around helping others navigate the same path. Today, Gabriel mentors dozens of student athletes and shares powerful insights on mindset, sacrifice, and reality, never sugarcoating what it actually takes to succeed. And that's kind of why I brought you here. Through his platform, CGU, and his honest online presence, he's impacting lives and shaping the next generation of athletes with truth and purpose. So get ready for a raw, real, and inspiring conversation. Gabriel, thanks for joining me.
Yes, Igor, it's a pleasure to be speaking with you today. To be really honest, I really like your project, man. It's something that I would like to do in the future as well, not just in Portuguese, but in English as well, in Spanish with the people that I knew in United States. And man, it's a pleasure. It's gonna be a pleasure to respond to some questions that you have today. And let's go. Let's go ahead.
I appreciate that. So tell me, let's go back to 2019. What made you decide to come to the US?
Man, it's a good question because in Brazil, as you told in the beginning, I was against all odds. I had anything in Brazil, so I had to work as a waiter. I had to work in construction. I had to work everything basically everything to make this possible. And I didn't play academy in Brazil. I just played in a small academy in Brazil, like back in São Paulo, which is my state. Some of the Brazilians that might watch this, they know São Paulo. I am from like basically 1 hour from the capital of São Paulo, the city, and I didn't have any opportunities in there. Like in my 17 years old, I was playing anything. I was playing futsal. I was not playing like in a high competitive level. So United States was not an option. Like I would like to play soccer in a high level. It was not an option. It was the only option that I had to play soccer in a high level and to be someone in my life, And that's why I'm really honest with the people as well. Man, if you're not playing anywhere in Brazil or anywhere in Europe, in Asia, in United States, college soccer is a great opportunity for you to be seen, to have a diploma, to change your life. So that's why I basically came to US, just to have opportunities in my life.
And when you decided to come, you said that you had to work, which, I think a lot of people will resonate with that. Maybe some people have their parents where they're going to pay it, right? But moving to another country, getting ready to move, and then moving, um, it's a lot of mental challenges here and there, leaving the family behind, worrying about money and all of that. Um, so, what were some of the challenges that you faced on that preparation, uh, getting to the US, and how did you overcome them?
Yes, man, that's a good question as well. Like at the beginning, I had some of my parents' help, like my parents' help with the flight ticket, the visa process. But when I came to US, I had just the money for the beginning. But for the second semester, man, it was all by myself. It was all by myself. I had to work everything. I had to work even DoorDash, everything I did in the United States to survive and to pay my college tuition. So I had everything. The mental challenges were really big for me as well because like you're a foreigner as well. You're from Brazil. You had to overcome language barrier. You have to overcome culture barrier. Like my first time was in California. It like was before COVID-19, so I just spent like 3 months in California, and then I spent all the other time in Brazil because it was COVID. So I had to go back to Brazil. And then my second opportunity was in Kansas. In Kansas was tough, man, because it's a really really tough state to live because they are not used to foreigners. They are not used to Brazilians, to people from abroad. They are just used to people from there. So my at the beginning, my first barrier was the cultural barrier, was to get used to the other culture and language. Because before United States, I didn't know how to speak English really well. I was not fluent, and you have to make money, you have to make opportunities, and in states like that, it was difficult for me. It's not Florida, it's not California. You are like At the middle of United States, it was really difficult for me. If I would state one thing, it was this cultural and language barrier. For me, the first thing I had in mind to say the mental challenges that I had.
Yeah, I understand 100% because I went to Kansas and I was there for 2 years, and yeah, middle of nowhere. There's like I was in a town with 5,000 people.
Was
But
JUCO as well?
yeah, yeah,
Which JUCO did you?
Cloud County.
Cloud County. It's not the soccer program is not anymore, right?
No, no, they don't have anymore.
Or
I was there the last year that they decided to. A
yeah,
lot of things happened, so
yeah,
I think
yeah,
actually was a good thing because when I got there, we had like 60 people on the team,
yeah,
and it just became a mess. And small town, nothing to do, not enough like work on campus for us, and
yeah,
off campus it's complicated. So it was tough. So I understand what you said.
yeah.
Um, and looking back and looking where you are right now, how
Hmm.
much of your success do you credit to your mindset versus your talent? You mentioned that you never really played in Brazil before, but here was an opportunity to play, maybe because of the level. So where does the talent in your mindset comes to your success today?
Man, 100% mindset. 100%. I've never had talent. I don't consider myself. I believe in talent. I believe that some people have a better predisposed. Like they born with something different from the others. I believe in that. I really believe in that. But I was not this person. I was not like even with what I work today. I don't have talent. I am just consistent. I just do the same thing for a long time. I just did the same thing for a long time. So at the beginning, I didn't have anything. Like my soccer talent was zero, and I just credit my development on my consistency. So on my mindset, I trained a lot. I invest in my career. So um, going ahead on what made me this guy I am today, like what made me a successful guy in college soccer, a guy that inspires the other people to come here, was 100% mindset, was to invest in myself and to have this mindset of investing in people that can help me. So networking, people that can help me on knowledge, everything in this area helped me a lot to be the person, and not just the person, but the player who I turned out to be.
Mhm. And a lot of the people that want to come here to the US to study and play, sometimes they think they're very good because
Mhm.
in Brazil we play soccer, so they think they're gonna come here and they're gonna dominate, right? Go to
Yeah.
MLS, go to everywhere. Um,
Mhm.
and one of the reasons I decided to ask you to come to the podcast is because whenever you are talking to these people and you're making the videos, you tell them the truth. Like you
Yeah.
you have no problem on being raw, and telling them whatever it takes, and like that they're gonna get here, they're gonna get upset because they're not playing because they think that's one thing, but it's not really how they think it is. Um, why do you choose to pick that approach instead of trying to sell, oh yeah, come to the US, everything here is good? Because I'm sure like with your agency you could probably make more money if you tell them like, yeah guys, come over here, it's so easy, everyone's gonna play, and that's what a lot of agencies did back then and still do.
Yeah.
Where they like, yeah, just give me 10,000 reais and I'll
Yes.
put you to college, everything's gonna be perfect. But we know that that's not how it works. So why do you decided to um not necessarily be honest, but why do you decided to be raw and tell people the truth about coming here?
Man, that's a good question as well. One thing that I learned from a mentor, a really good mentor of mine. One of them is Tawan Salgado. Most of the guys know he was. I always tell, and publicly, and not just privately, but publicly, he's one of my greatest mentors, and he helped me a lot throughout this journey. He told me, "Man, the truth will lead us to success in the long term.
Hmm.
The truth will head us to the success in the long term. If you are lying to someone, you can win in the short term. As we say in Brazil, mentira tem perna curta. Like the lie has like short legs.
Hmm.
They can't go further.
Yeah.
So that's why I learned, man. At the beginning of everything, when I started creating videos, creating content, creating knowledge for the other people who would like to come here, the first thing, the basis for me, for my job, for my work is truth. To tell us the truth of what I was living, not like I would like to live or something that would affect them in the future. It was what I was living. I am like of 90% of people. I am the same thing of 90% of people. I have not I don't have talent. I grew up with not like many money. I didn't grow up in a rich family. I didn't have English, so I am like almost everybody in Brazil. So I want to tell them the truth. It's gonna be a hard investment. It's not gonna be easy to compete in a high level, in a high college soccer level. So the beginning was that, as I said, I could make a lot of money already, like much more money, telling them the lies, like telling them lies. But it's not like that, man. In the future, in the long term, the people will see who is telling the truth. This all falls down to that. So that's why I'm honest. That's why I create content with knowledge and not telling lies to them. So I believe in the long term. For me, like I always say, give me 10 years, because in the long term, I know I'm gonna win because I'm telling the truth above everything. So that's why I tell them the truth.
Have you ever received any backlash for being too honest?
Yes, man. Yeah, yeah. Some people like say I am like arrogant or something like that sometimes because I tell them the truth. I sometimes, Gabriel, can you send me a feedback of my highlight video? I say you're like an average player, a seven, not like a C player. You're not an A player. And oh, Gabriel, why are you saying that? Like I would like you to say something different. But no, man, I would be lying to you if I was saying like if you are like an A player. No, you're not an A player. You're a C player, and that's good because you knew from Brazil, and you didn't know. You didn't know in the United States already paying a high tuition and being in having a lie on yourself. So that's why I am honest. And of course, I had a backlash on that. Some
Mhm.
people say I'm arrogant, but no, I'm just telling the truth around my experience. That's why I lived, and some people were not honest with me, and I suffered a lot with that. So that's why I am today what I didn't have. So
Mhm.
that's why I'm truthful as well.
That's fair. Do you feel like most athletes are ready to hear the truth, or do you think that they have to be challenged more mentally in order to be able to digest the reality?
No, definitely not. No, most people are not ready for that, man. They have to pass through some phases. They have to discover the opportunity. As I knew in Lakeland as well, Lakeland United, I played against some of the greatest D1s. I played against. I didn't play because I was injured, but our team played against Inter Miami, UCF, USF, and man, that is high level. The only way that you can know what is high level when you play against these high level guys. So people are not ready because they haven't played in a high level yet. So that's why I learned as well. If you didn't play, I always say in Brazil, like in my page as well in Brazil, the lowest the level you play, the more illusion you have in soccer. Because you don't know. You're just playing in small academies. You're playing in your school. This is not soccer, man. This is not soccer. Soccer is something. Football, soccer is something else.
Mhm.
When you play high level soccer, you know what is high level. So that's why I say this as well.
When it comes to mindset, what do you think is the biggest mistake that people have when they're trying to come to here to get a scholarship? You know, where's the biggest um, mistake that you see of people trying to come here?
Man, it's for me. It's the financial side. They don't know how to treat the process. They don't know the pre-arrival costs. They don't know what is tuition. They don't know the process. So the main reason people come to the US and go back to Brazil or to their own countries is because they don't know how the process works. So this is the biggest mistake people make in general, and not just in Brazil. I see people from Europe. They have more money because of their currency, but they also don't know the process, and that's really really bad, because some people, they are really good at soccer, they can have a good career in there, but they don't have, because they don't have the right mindset to learn, to know the process, to meet people who can help them. So that's the biggest mistake I've seen, like for 5 years.
And for the people who are listening to us, what does the process looks like? We know that it's not only tuition, but what else besides tuition that people have to be ready for?
Man, first, for example, if you're 21 years or older, like, you can live off campus. What are the expenses? Where you will live? The insurance is mandatory. It's not. Duolingo, you are going to a school that accepts 90 plus Duolingo, or 61 TOEFL. No, what are the other options? The agency there you go, and like, they're telling you the truth. Everything makes part of the little details make part of the process, and this little detail can change your road. So that's why I didn't have in my beginning, and what I'm passing today to the people. Like, know the little details of the process, because it will help you to have success in your college soccer career.
Mhm. And going off of that, what separates an athlete that succeeds in the US and an athlete that not necessarily fail, but maybe give up and go back home?
Man, the mindset of just playing soccer and studying. You're not, for me, okay, it's my point of view. You're not playing college soccer just to play, to practice 5 times a week and do your homework, your assignments. You're not just for that. I was not for that. Since the beginning, I was in the United States to have the opportunity of my life, to change my life, to have network, to meet new people, to learn. And the plus was the soccer and the assignments. People go to the US just to enjoy parties, to play soccer and do assignments. They are going to come back to Brazil or to their countries with just a diploma and a college experience. That's it. They're not going to have a real knowledge of the process of how they're going to do money, make money in their lives, and have success in their lives after the college.
Mhm.
I
So,
know. Yeah, you can say.
what would you recommend them to do it? Because I mean, I feel like that's what maybe 80% of the people come here is like, yeah, I'm gonna go there to play soccer and get a degree from the US because we think it's more valuable than the one in Brazil. And I mean, it might be for sure, but
Yeah.
what should they do then if they're like, besides going to school, getting a diploma, and also playing soccer at the same time?
Man, the advice that I didn't receive and that I give today is like, be good, be really good at what you're doing. If you just want to study and play soccer, be really good at it. If you're not good, really good, and you can have a potential to be a professional soccer player, be like a 4.0 GPA guy in your university. Be this guy, because you're gonna have opportunities everywhere. This is a good thing that I learned from some mentors that I had as well. Be good at the university. It's not difficult, man. Just have like sometimes like 1 hour per day, 2 hours per day. You can have a solid 4.0 or 3.8 GPA, and this is gonna open many doors in your life.
Mhm.
So today, because of my work, because I grew a company, my journey was a little different. Like, I grew a company since 2022, 23. So I didn't have enough time to be solid 4.0 guy. I have today like a 3.5 GPA, but I did everything to be successful in my life. For me, today, hopefully I don't depend on the school anymore, on my diploma. I depend on my knowledge, on my sales techniques, on my networking. But I know my journey is a little difficult. I don't recommend anyone to do that, what I'm doing today.
Mhm.
But the advice that I do today is just to be good at it. If you're there to play college soccer, if your parents are helping you, be really good at it. Enjoy this opportunity. Spend every single time doing good, a solid 4.0 GPA, and a really good player, because you're going to open doors in the future. I'm sure of that.
Mhm. Yeah, it's I something that I always say here. It's like, before we are athletes, we are human beings as well. And I think people forget that, like, they come here to play soccer, which is fine. If you want to focus on the soccer side, it's very important. But you have to remember that you are also a human being off the field, and you have to take care of other things as well. And that might be, we'll get into that, but might be reading, it might be meditating,
Yes.
recovering, and having friends and all of that. So I think it's very important for people to understand that, and make a full experience of that experience that they are.
Man, meeting new people was the most important thing I've learned throughout these 5 years. Meeting new people, and not just people like people that can help you, people with a good mentality, people that meditate, people that read, people that do have good habits. This thing changed my life. Changed my life. That's why we are talking today as well, because we knew people and then we connect each other.
Mhm.
Me creating content, you creating a podcast and your projects, and we connect each other. So we are helping each other.
Yeah.
That's why I grew throughout this journey. You know.
Yeah. And if you could go back to 2019, 2018 maybe, and you could give yourself one advice on maybe mindset before coming to the US, what would that be?
Man, difficult, difficult. I consider myself. I am just here because of my mindset. Okay. I've always been this guy, resilient guy, who believed in my things more than everyone else. I had a faith, man. A really good faith. Like nothing stopped me because I had an ACL injury. Nothing stopped me because we had COVID. Nothing stopped me because I was having a bad time. So I just have a really, really good faith in God and what God proposed me. But what I would change, maybe the way that I prepared myself in football, in soccer. Most of the people, they want to play soccer, they want to develop. Most of them, they want to become professionals. And I made a big mistake of not preparing myself in a right way. I didn't invest my time and money in people that could help me as well. So, yeah, I continue.
Do you mean that by training more or training smarter?
Training in the right way. Training in the right way, because I trained a lot, man. I was doing like 3 times a day, technical side, physical, and I was just getting injured. That's why I had my first ACL as well, because I was training a lot. I was training too much. And what I learned in my career, it's not the time that you're working out. It's not the time that you're training, practicing, doing ball work. It's not the time. It's the quality of this time. So now I work 45 minutes instead of 2 hours, and then I get more evolution, more development than I had in the past. So invest in people that can help you, in people that pass through, and people that can help you throughout this journey to be physically prepared, technically prepared, tactically prepared. So that's a big mistake I committed. Like in 2020, 2021, I was not playing in a really good level of JUCO because of that. I was not preparing myself. I had the potential, but I was not preparing the right way. So that's the biggest mistake I committed.
You mentioned that you always had that mindset, but do you feel like your mindset changed throughout the years that you have been here?
Yes, I developed a lot, man. As I said, people helped me throughout this journey. So I knew people, for example, Tawan, I knew him in 2021. We already had the first contact. So he taught me many things in the past. And then I changed. I knew Gustavo Vasconcelos, which played D1 college soccer for 5 years. I knew some other guys that changed my life. And then I became a better person, a more prepared person throughout this time. It was not like this evolution. It was like this. I fell. I had an ACL injury. Then I turned back to the good form. I played in Marshalltown Community College, which is a good school. I had a great season in there, and then I fall again, an ACL injury. Go to Lakeland, and then I had like my evolution was not like this. I fell. I grew up, but at the end of the day, as we see like in a graphic, my evolution was like in 2020 I was like this, and now I'm like this, but it was not like a solid run. It was like falls and downs, falls and ups, falls and ups.
Hmm.
It was,
Okay, makes sense. Do you, whenever you came to the US, you had a goal in mind, and maybe that goal wasn't as clear, but do you feel like you feel like you achieved that goal, or do you feel like you are achieving that goal eventually? How do you feel in terms of fulfillment?
man, I'm really satisfied with what I achieved. I At the beginning, 2020, my goal was to become a professional football player. This didn't work. Now I'm working in soccer and football, but outside the pitch, and I am more satisfied than what I would be playing professional soccer. Why? Because I knew soccer was like a period. Soccer was for me every time. Soccer was a way to be a better person. Soccer was just a way for me to be a better person, not the contrary. For me, it's person, as you said at the beginning, person before anything else.
Mhm.
So throughout, how can I say, through soccer, I learned a lot from different things. I learned to read better. I learned to meet new people. I learned to communicate better. I learned English. I learned Spanish. I had a diploma. So through soccer, I had everything in my life that I wouldn't have in Brazil.
For sure.
So I am satisfied of that because soccer gave me everything.
Hmm.
So that's
Yeah.
what I'm satisfied, even though I didn't become a professional soccer player. You know.
Yeah. What kind of legacy do you hope to build with your agency right now that you're mentoring other athletes to come here? What do you what are your plans? What do you want to hope that these players come here and achieve in a way?
Man, I want them to have results and hopefully be better than I was. That's my goal. That's my goal to mentor them, to give them the right path to be as successful as I was in my college career, to have a diploma, to be a better person, to play college in a soccer in a really good level, and hopefully they can become a professional. I am giving everything, all my contacts, all my knowledge, all my everything to prepare them in a high level, in a high standard, both in soccer and academically. So that's my main goal today, to mentor them to do everything in the right way.
Hmm. And tell me more a little bit about that mentorship. How does it work? Like, is it one session? Is it multiple sessions? Like, how often do you guys talk? How does that work?
It's a little misconception because we say mentor. Of By the way, we changed the topic from mentoria, which is ACM mentorship, to sports because we are an agency. We are not mentorship. We don't have just calls to mentor the people. We do the process. We have knowledge. We have contacts. We give scholarships to the players. We connect them to the coaches. Everything a normal agency does. But our differential is because we mentor this guy, this person, to the next level. So we just don't find an opportunity for them. We do a mentorship. We prepare them physically. We do soccer wise. We prepare him in the best way possible. We have the best strength conditioning coach in Brazil. We have the best platform to help them tactically and technically in Brazil. We have everything, as I said, we have everything to make them the best player and the best athlete in the United States. So we just don't find them the scholarship, but we also prepare him or her to the opportunities they're gonna have in the United States. You know.
Mhm. Awesome, because that's definitely what a lot of agencies are not doing. They simply just
we,
send
we
you.
fill this gap. We fill this gap. You know, we knew this gap. I had this gap. I was with an agency that didn't anything for me. So now I'm filling this gap. So that's why I'm here today. You know,
For
that
sure.
just to make this work.
Okay, so now we're gonna do a quick fire session. So I'm gonna ask you something. You're gonna tell me the first thing that comes to your mind, and
Okay.
maybe I think we can talk about it a little bit more. Make
All right.
sense?
All right. Makes sense.
All right. So one book that changed your mindset.
In Portuguese, Terapia de Guerrilha. With some Brazilians in there, like Terapia de Guerrilha from Italo Marcilli, the greatest book I've ever read. It's in there as well. It's in there. It's behind there. In
Awesome.
English, yeah, you can say it.
Yeah,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead. Go ahead.
In English, if I don't say just one, but in English, Crime and Punishment, which is Crime e Castigo in Portuguese. Crime and Punishment. This is a literature book, but this changed my life. This changed my life. It's a really good book and changed me and taught me a lot about how life works. This is really good. I really recommend this book.
Awesome. Favorite moment from playing career.
Man, 2023 season, the whole year. We were NPSL regional champions with Des Moines United, and in the fall season with Marshalltown Community College, it was all conference. We almost won the conference as well against the top two teams in the country by the time. It was Iowa Lakes and Northeast Community College. It was a great season. I had a great performance individually, and it was great, man. It was a dream that I lived there. It was great.
One truth most athletes still don't want to hear.
They have to invest. They don't want to hear. They think everything will come to them. No, they have to. They think mainly in Brazil. They think they have to have an entrepreneur with them, like an agency with them first. And no, you have to be ready and bring results first, not the contrary. So they think everyone will come to them. No, this is contrary. This is the contrary way. We have to bring results. You have to be good at it, and then after this, you're going to have an agency. You're going to have sponsorships, everything. So they just invert this order, and that's the biggest mistake people commit in
Mhm.
soccer.
And when you say invest, do you mean money wise or do you mean time wise?
Everything, time, money, people, everything. They have to invest. They have to invest. They have to meet new people. They have to learn with more people, because if you're just in your bubble, if you're just I am good at it, I know how to train, I know how to do a ball work, I know how to make, you don't know anything. You're just a 17, 20-year-old guy that knows anything. You don't know anything. So you have to invest in people. That's, I think, that changed my life. When
Hmm.
you
Yeah,
study, invest in people.
yeah. One thing that I always try to be as much as I can that I have learned throughout the years is to be open minded, and learn from other people. But it's also finding the balance where you are not too open minded that you hear everything that
Yeah,
everyone say. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But I think, especially for us coming, like we look at the US, Brazilians, we look at the US as a terrible place to play soccer, you know? So we think that everything they're doing here is wrong, which is, maybe there's a lot of things that are wrong when it comes to soccer here, the way that clubs work, and college. And maybe they will never win a World Cup, but that's not the point. You know what I mean? But if we want to come here, we have to open our minds in able to play the game that they are playing.
yeah, man. I feel like most of the guys from Brazil, they think they are Ronaldinho, they think they are Ronaldo, and you're just a normal guy.
Yeah.
I saw some American guys playing ballers, man, like really good American guys. And you're just like generalizing. You're just putting American soccer as a trash, and you're putting Brazilian soccer as like the goal that everyone wants to achieve. And no, you're just a common guy. Sometimes you're worse than an average American player in a D1
Mhm.
college. You have to know that. You have to reach this level by investing, by knowing new people. So that's what I learned throughout this time. You have to go
Yeah.
open minded, but not just too open minded, as you said, to listen to everyone. But you have to.
Yeah. And I think it's like we compare soccer, right? But if we go here and you see people playing basketball, not everyone can go play in the NBA, and
I
it's the
know.
same thing. It's the same thing.
Same thing.
One last question that I always ask the guest speakers: what's one thing that you would share with the entire world, and that can be about anything you want.
Man, that's what I do in my page. Tell us that do things in the right way. If you're feeling you're not doing the thing in the right way, in an honest way, you're doing it wrong. That's a thing that I learned throughout my life, and then that I wanna spread the word for more people. Tell everyone the truth. Do things in the right way. Don't climb in the other people to be successful. Do it in the other way. Don't waste your time looking aside. Look ahead. Do it the right way. Tell the people truth. So in the long term, you're gonna be successful. No way to make this wrong. This is
Yeah,
this is the way.
yeah, I like that a lot because you mentioned the long term success, and I
Mhm.
think a lot of people, especially our age, we forget about the long term. We think like how to make money fast, how to make this, how
Do you
to
want why? Do you want to why? Do you know why? Because of this, man. Because of cell phone. Because Instagram. People, I am 17-year-old. I am a billionaire. Man, this is ruining your mind. This is
yeah.
ruining your mind. This is not
Well,
true.
yeah, and I think we have to be able to, I had a talk the other day with a friend of mine, and he didn't know if he should do a podcast in Portuguese or in English. And I was like, that's totally fair. Like it's so much easier for us to connect with people in Portuguese. But I told him, like, look, I don't see the athletic school being something just for Brazilians. I see myself in the US for the rest of my life, at least. But I want to be able to talk with people from everywhere. And I know that speaking Portuguese would only take me to a certain point. It might
Yeah.
be very rewarding, but at the end of the day, in 10 years, I want to be able to talk to anyone. That's the reason I do it in English. So I think we have to have that mindset if we want to become successful. And if we don't, we end up doing things like you said, telling lies, a little lies here and there, and then
You want
we
to
win.
compensate. you want to compensate because you don't have content. You're not thinking in the long term, so you have to compensate with lies, because this lie will compensate you better, will make you more money. But this is not the right way. In the long term, you're gonna see it's not the right way.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Gabriel, thanks so much for sharing a little bit of your story, some of the things that people can do. Like I said, and I love your videos, and I think people have to hear those things in order to improve, because otherwise they're gonna come here and they're gonna go back, they're gonna waste money, and they're gonna go back saying like, "Oh no, it's not for me," blah blah blah. Well, nothing's for you, because every
Yeah.
time you have an opportunity, every time it gets hard, you go back. You know what I mean? So
That's good.
I really love your content. I really appreciate your time.
No, man, Igor, that's the same thing. I say the same thing for you. It's a pleasure to be speaking with you. I really love your videos as well, your podcasts. As I said to you in the beginning, as I told you privately, I really like this type of work, man. This
Mhm.
podcast in English. You're Brazilian. You have podcast in English, as you said. In the long term, I'm sure of that. You're gonna have many more reach. You're gonna speak to everyone in the world, not just in America, I mean, in Europe, in Asia, in Oceania, everyone, everywhere. So I really appreciate your job, and man, I hope all the best for the future as well.